and it wasn't really that bad except for they chose some of the actors who were not really uh, ready. You know, like a lot of the people didn't look like Frank Sinatra didn't look like Frank Sinatra, and Elizabeth Taylor didn't really look like her, and it was kind of a bad choice of actors, I guess. Even the one that played Marlon Brando didn't look very much like him. But anyway, I'll tell you a little bit about Cantinflas. Cantinflas, he started out back in the 30s when they used to have, people would go to these like canvas tents where they used to do a lot of shows. They'd have music, dancers, and then once in a while they'd have comedians. And instead of charging, sometimes you go in there and then and after the show they just pass a hat and kind of make that's the way some of the actors got paid. But Cantinflas was a more or less of a natural comedian because he could just make funny out of anything. And that's one thing. Once he got into he couldn't get along very well with the people who were running the shows because he tended to just say things right off the top of his head, and and it was funny, but at the same time he could not go with a lot of the scripts that were written, and he more or less made his own comedy because he tended to do a lot of double talk, which you might say. That's why another thing, it was hard to imitate him because you could imitate his movements and his gestures and the way he moved and acted, but and even his voice you might be able to imitate, but the things that he said you almost have to memorize what he talked about in the movies because I don't know if there's anybody been able to do what he used to do is just jabber from he'd be explaining something and he'd go from one subject to another, and he'd just make a lot of some of that stuff didn't even make sense, but anyway, that's kind of an actor he was. I might show you a little something the way he looked like. This is one of the little images that they used to have. They used to sell these in marketplaces, and they used to have a lot of different kinds of images of him, and they showed how the way he dressed and how the way he. This is a little exaggerated, but at the same time, that's mainly what he looked like. And he used to wear those pants that sagged all the way down. But I think his outfit was actually all one piece. That way, he made sure that his pants wouldn't fall down. But anyway, the time that I did see him his pants fall down was when my dad took me to Juarez, Mexico. We used to live right across the border, and he used to take me to the bullfights all the time. And they were featuring Cantinflas in those days, and he came, and because I think he always aspired to be a bullfighter, so he did a lot of funny stuff there in the ring, and he was jumping around, and then at one instance his pants fell down, and he had like polka dot underwear, and he started running. It was kind of funny. He did a lot of crazy things, but. In the movies, when he started making movies in the 40s, but like I was saying, he'd have a lot of trouble with directors because he always wanted to go his own way with the comedy, even though it made sense for what he was saying, but it just didn't. A lot of it didn't go with what the script was. And this movie that was made in Hollywood, one of the things I did like about it, even though, like I say, I don't think the actor that played the main role was a Mexican guy. I think he might have been from Spain or something. Anyway, but they did use some Mexican actors in the movie. And what I liked about it is the part that takes place in the United States. It was done in English, so I could understand that all right. And then the parts that were done in Mexico, that were supposed to be in Mexico anyway. and they did them in Spanish, so that was okay. Which is the nice thing about being able to understand two languages, is because you could understand both at the same time, and you didn't have to read the subtitles underneath. So it was that was one advantage to seeing it. Another thing that's funny is that I went to see it here in Omaha last night, and I was the only one in the whole theater, and there was nobody there. I was just sitting there all by myself, and I thought I was going to be able to laugh to some of his stuff, but like I say, a lot of it was more sad than it was, because it also talks a little bit about his tragedy and the tragedy in his life, and things that he went through, and there was a lot of sad things that he had to go through. But he didn't work very well with the studios. That's why he was kind of a anti-establishment.